Sarah had always been proud of her ability to sleep through anything. Thunderstorms, car alarms, her neighbors' midnight arguments, nothing could wake her once she drifted off. It was a gift, she told friends, a superpower. Until the night she realized something had been visiting her room. The first sign was subtle, a depression in the carpet beside her bed, as if someone had been standing there for hours. The indentation was deep, deliberate, shaped like feet that were slightly too long to be human. Sarah dismissed it as furniture marks, maybe from when she'd rearranged the room months ago. The second sign was her alarm clock. Every morning for a week it displayed the same time, 3:17 a.m. Not the time she'd set it for, 6:30, but 3:17, glowing red in the darkness. When she checked the power, tested the batteries, even bought a new clock, the same thing happened. 3:17 a.m. as if time itself had developed a stutter. The third sign was the breathing. Sarah discovered it by accident on a night when insomnia finally claimed her superpower. Lying awake at 2:45 a.m., she heard it, slow, measured breaths that weren't her own. They came from the foot of her bed, deep and patient, like someone settling in for a long wait. She didn't move, didn't open her eyes. Some primitive part of her brain whispered that acknowledgement would be an invitation, and whatever was breathing in her room hadn't been invited the first time. The breathing continued until exactly 3:17 a.m., then stopped. Sarah began sleeping with a voice recorder, desperate for proof she wasn't losing her mind. Each morning, she'd fast forward through hours of silence until she reached the timestamp, 2:45 a.m. Every recording captured the same thing, her own soft breathing, punctuated by something else, something deeper, something that seemed to pause whenever she shifted in her sleep, as if it were studying her movements. But it was the final recording that broke her. On the seventh night, Sarah had whispered into the darkness, barely audible, "I know you're there." When she played it back the next morning, her voice came through clearly. But underneath it, simultaneous with her words, was another voice, identical to hers in every way, whispering back, "I know you're there." Sarah moved out that day, leaving everything behind. She never returned, not even for her belongings. The landlord eventually rented the room to a college student who bragged about being such a heavy sleeper that nothing could wake him. He lasted 3 weeks. The room sits empty now, but the depression in the carpet remains. And every night at 2:45 a.m., if you listen carefully to the silence, you might hear breathing that doesn't belong to anyone living. The question isn't whether something visits that room. The question is, how long has it been visiting yours?